let's burn
Rookie
through.
of the
We
year.
gotta do.
Let's do
We
it.
gotta do lightning round for our life awards, which is fine. We don't want to wax too long about our own, but I did basically my life awards are my own goals, personal goals and plans for the upcoming year. So I'm gonna give my MVP of the year to my career goals. I'm working towards working on some, writing and comedy things. This podcast is part of it. I'm going hard on what I want for my career this year. How about you?
I'm taking friends and family as the MVP.
Okay.
And this will be part of, you'll see a little bit of a theme running, but
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, friends and family's coming for me later. I picked MVP because that's an individual award.
Okay, that's fair.
So that's why career goals are my MVP, because it's a solo award. My
Here's
defensive. Oh, go ahead.
All of my friends and family individually, the most valuable person in my life.
Wow. What a suck up to everyone you know. My defensive player of the year, coming in with a big wagging Mutombo finger for block shots, is knowing when to stop. I'm bringing the Mutombo finger. I'm turning off podcasts as soon as I don't care what they're talking about. I'm not gonna read a book to the end if I hate it. I'm not gonna watch a TV show if I don't like it. I'm not gonna stick with things because of sunk cost fallacy. I'm gonna have the Mutombo wag finger, knowing when to stop. Defensive player of the year, pulling the plug on things.
Love that. I love that idea so much. This is something that I talk about all the time, all day, every day at work. In the lovely world of sales, I'm either going to win the deal or I'm going to lose as fast as possible. I'm not wasting any time about it.
Yeah, I've spent so much time just being feeling physical stress because my podcasts have been piling up. I shouldn't feel stress because I have too many podcasts to listen to.
That's fair. That's fair. You can relieve some
I can just not listen.
Yeah.
I don't have to listen to 10 different 3 times a week basketball podcasts that are all talking about the same thing. I can pick the favorite ones who I like what they say and just stick to that. Zach Lowe, I'm looking at you.
Wow.
You're in the rotation, Low Post.
No, that's a good idea. We are full adults. We don't have to do things that we don't want to.
Yeah. How about you? What's winning your defensive player of the year?
Defensive player of the year, work. Yeah, work in this sense. Tries its best to get in the way of the things that I enjoy.
All right. Yeah. It's playing D.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for it. It's gonna win by default. It's the only thing playing defense. The rest of things in my life this year, we're playing offense.
All right. I'm gonna give the sixth man of the year. This is a lame pick. This is a lame pick. It's corny. I'm giving the sixth man of the year to myself, and by that I mean for too long I've been coming off the bench. For too long I've been putting other things in front of what I want.
Goddamn right.
So this year I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not doing what I don't want to do. I'm going after my career goals. I'm focusing on friends and family. I'm working on my own projects. I'm not letting things get me down. I'm not doubting myself. Sixth man of the year is me. I'm becoming a starter. I'm coming off the bench. I'm going to become a starter in my own life.
You were going to force a controversy.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I wish I could steal that pick because that's fantastic. And that's definitely a goal of mine this year as well.
I want I love your approval of my pick.
My sixth man of the year. And we can get real for a second here. So, working from home in the pandemic, I think highlighted some things for me. One of which was that I got a diagnosis for ADHD at the ripe old age of I guess it was 36 when that happened.
From TikTok or a real one?
No, real one from an actual doctor.
You know what, Keenan? All the things that I remember about you and how you work on things. It makes sense, right? Yeah. You stay up all night. You procrastinate to the last minute. You work in bursts.
Yeah. No, the signs were there. And I will say, TikTok did diagnose me first.
You did. I mean,
The algorithm knew.
I'll tell you this, Keenan. Every time I see one of those tweets or something that's just like, oh, I never realized this behavior was a sign of ADHD. I'm like, I totally do that. That's another thing I do. I totally do that. But
I mean, yeah.
I have taken the like self-assessment, like online tests, and I'm
Mhm.
always just under.
Right,
I'm always
right
like
at the cusp. Yeah.
just under. Like you just grew up on MTV. You don't actually have.
Right. Yeah. You're just a digital kid.
I just have all the, just borderline of it.
Right.
Not
Right.
clinical.
But my sixth man is going to go to medication.
Okay.
Because I've realized that you can feel relatively normal
Nice.
if you're regulated. Yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. I'm giving my most improved player of the year something that I'm going to try to do more of, and that's fail. Because if I fail,
okay.
it means I'm trying.
It's true.
I'm trying
That's
to.
true.
I'm going to apply to more things. I'm going to apply to more festivals. I'm going to apply to more I'm going to like submit to more I don't know, more jobs, more career things. I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for more things in the entertainment industry. I'm going to put myself out there more, and that means failing more. And it means getting better, unless I just hit on everything, unless it's just the year of George, baby, the summer of George.
Summer of George.
Summer of George. But yeah, I want to fail more because it means I'm trying more. That's my most improved player, getting better with failure.
Okay. I like that. I mean, yeah, you definitely have to try. I think for me, oftentimes fear of failure can create, just inaction. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I want
you gotta
something
do
to
it.
I want something to be perfect the first time I do it. So I obsess over it and I don't ever do it, instead of just like doing it and then fixing it later. Like, rewriting is rewriting, that kind of shit.
For sure. For sure.
What's
Um,
improving in your life?
so I am actually going to steal your answer from earlier, in a sense. So, what's improving in my life is realizing what I want and
Nice.
prioritizing what I want. Like,
Yeah.
um, it's part. I think part of that, is masking. When you talk ADHD,
ADHD terms. Yeah.
you start to try to figure out what other people want and what may seem relatively normal to everyone else, and you start to deprioritize what you may actually want. But in the
Mm-hmm.
moment, just understanding and staying in tap with with everything that you're doing. Is this in an effort to make myself happier or achieve something that I really want? And if it's not, we leave it alone.
Nice. I like hearing that. Oh, this is inspiring. The quickest round, the life. I'm genuinely inspired by this. My coach of the year, I'm giving it to a little practice I've been doing called morning pages. I'm reading a book called The Artist's Way. It's supposed to help you get through artist blocks, find your ideas. And it's a meditative practice. Every morning you longhand write 3 pages. Just go stream of consciousness or think on a topic or something like that. And I've been doing it for about 8 or 9 weeks now. And it's like a practice that you should do every day. It takes about half an hour. And I've noticed that every single day, I either get an idea for something I want to work on, like a joke idea or something I want to write into a script or something like that. Or I get some sort of concept idea, oh, this is how I should work on something. Every day I get to at least one idea to try. So that's going to be my guiding coach this year. I'm going to do those pages and I'm going to listen to where my freehand stream of consciousness writing sends me. And I'm going to use that throughout the day in my creative process, in how I think about the world, how I see things. That's my coach of the year.
I love that. Just staying and that'll certainly help with the other goal of just diving into failure more,
yeah.
If you're doing something every day, it's not always going to be perfect.
I used to be so precious with notebook pages. I used to buy a notebook and then not write things in them because I was like, oh, this is a waste of paper if I write something on this instead of just like that's how like weird, that's how my brain
Yeah.
is. Just like if I write something down, it has to be good. So just the act of like just like freehand writing anything and is like making me less precious about what I do, and like being able to be like, oh yeah, I can just like do this and go back and fix it later or work on it later or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, yeah, the
Or leave
practices,
it alone,
or leave it
like,
alone, or maybe some
yeah.
things do come out well on the first
Right.
time. Sometimes I
Right.
write something and I'm like, holy shit, I just fucking wrote that from like nothing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome.
What's
I support
guiding
that.
you this year? Who's your coach?
I think this was pretty easy. If you're following my thread here, shout out to Meta World Peace, my therapist.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my therapist led me to the Artist Way book that I'm doing. So, you know, they're like
Yeah.
my coach's coach.
Exactly. That's your Tex winners.
My grand coach.
No, I mean, just yeah, having an impartial voice to facilitate you discovering things about you is
Nice.
great. Yeah.
Love it. I'm giving you my East Coast, West Coast champs back to back. East
Okay.
Coast champs for me, my personal life, it's Philly sports. Ever since I moved, Philly sports has been like what connects me back to home. When I see people like walking around, you know, when I lived in New York, when I live in LA, I see people, I never don't give a go birds if I see an Eagles hat or something, you know, Phillies hat, to the
It's a
point where
local blessing.
when I'm back in Philly, I have to stop myself. I do it so it's become such a reflex when I
Yeah.
see a
Yeah.
Phillies hat or something to give them like a that when I'm in Philly, I almost do it. So that's my, and it's the year of Philly sports. We're looking nice in most areas, and I've never paid attention to hockey, so I don't care if the Flyers are bad.
Well, I'll clue you in. They're 3-0 to start the season.
All right, okay.
They're not gonna be that good for the rest of the year, but you know, like let's enjoy it while it lasts.
And then my West Coast champ, I live on the West Coast. What I want to do more of this year is go for nice day trips, weekend getaways. I want to go to you know, the beach more. I want to go to the mountains more. I want to go out to the desert. I want to do things with my girlfriend. I want to take some like day trips and weekend trips to all the places that like Southern California has to offer, and you know, maybe even up to, you know, more northern parts of California or Arizona, or I don't know, other places that are within like quick little drives.
Yeah.
What's
No,
coming
that
out of
sounds
the
awesome.
east and the west for you, Keenan?
I'll start in the West. I think I would love to just, you know, get into nature a little more in general. So I've never been a huge outdoors person, and it's not because I don't enjoy it. I think it's because my enjoyment has a real quick clock.
Okay.
Like if I go on a hike, I'm like, wow, yeah, this view's great. All right, is it time to go? You know, I don't I'm not patient enough with that. I'm trying to sit more in those moments and really kind of take back and appreciate. I think it's one thing
maybe
to see something.
maybe the ADHD medication will help with that.
Yeah, maybe. Let's hope. So yeah, you know, kind of going on the West Coast and you know, exploring some of the more some of our country's national parks, you know, and things like
Nice.
that while we can.
While we can. A dark end to that. What about east?
East
What's coming out of
Coast.
the east?
East Coast. So we got a tie in the East Coast. One is I'll start with Philly. So Philly's my champion. Um, Philly's home. It's always going to be home. You know, I love the winning that we're doing right now.
37-time defending champion. Philly coming out
That's
of the east.
Undefeated. Although, to be honest, 2023 they might take an L. Side note, something that I think is interesting, just over the last few days. Um, I believe it's the last 4 nights there has not been an overnight homicide in Philadelphia. and it's the first time we've had that many consecutive nights in a while.
Oh wow.
I blame that totally on the success of Philly sports.
People have been
And
too happy.
it sounds funny, but it's true. There's just a sense of community that like comes when our teams are doing well. People are genuinely happier and genuinely nicer to each other because there's that clear. I think that same moment that you have on the West Coast when you
Yeah.
see, Phil's gear or Philly gear or anything like that. That happens more when we're doing well and we realize that we're closer than we sometimes feel. And we stop killing each other. And
Wow.
it's sad that it's something that simple.
Yeah. A sense of community, something
But
to
a
bring
sense of
people
community.
together.
Exactly.
Even sports, no matter what it is. Yeah, it's a sense of community. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're already seeing the evidence of that. So that's just a side note I wanted to throw in there. So Philly, number one,
East Coast. Yeah. And
East Coast
tie.
champion, tied with the Carolinas. So there's a lot right now that's drawing me to the Carolina area. One, I've taken up golf recently as like a serious hobby.
Oh wow.
In the last I'd say really the last 6 months.
Okay.
Always been, an interest, but really been playing a lot recently.
I've still never really golfed. Only thing the most I've ever is par 3. Like a chip
We'll
and
definitely
putt.
have to go out. Yeah. Listen, it's fun in terms of getting out and doing something. It's great to just have as like a lifetime hobby.
Yeah.
It's something that you can
That's the most 40-year-old man ass shit you've ever said.
It's true though. It's true though. And if you believe Twitter,
sorry to round us up, but
it's if you believe Twitter, it's the reason that dudes just wanted a reason to go on walks together, so they invented golf.
Nice.
The Carolinas are drawing me for that. Great golf down there. Also potential that Philly loses me in a free agency year.
Ooh, I thought that's what you might be getting at when you said they might take a L. Ooh.
Yeah, there's a potential. Granted, this would be purely temporary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
interesting.
I may spend a year down there. More to come.
Interesting. Nice. I'm gonna give you my champion of the year and then my rookie of the year back to back because we got to get out of here. We're running long. Champion of the year is, I mentioned it before, friends and family, relationship goals. Gonna put having a good time with people I love as the champion of the year. And my rookie of the year, you know what it is, baby. It's the Stretch 4 podcast.
How did I not see that coming?
They won 3 out of 4 rookies of the year. They only didn't win hoops rookie of the year. That's the only one.
That's crazy. Crazy.
That's
saying a lot about our games right now. I'm taking a little offense to that. So if we're talking rookie of the year, you know what? We'll start with champion. I want to, and this ties in with friends and family. I want to be a better version of me for the people in my life.
Okay.
But not just to do it for them, but it's genuinely because I want to.
Yeah.
Not just in a people pleasing sense, but because I want to be better to the people around.
That's a very going to therapy kind of realization. Like if maybe you've been focusing on other people, but if you focus on yourself, you can actually help them more.
Crazy idea.
Yeah.
Crazy idea. And alongside that comes my rookie of the year, which is true accountability.
Rookie of the year, making its debut in the league of your life.
Yes,
true accountability. How are you going to do that? How are you going to hold yourself accountable? Or have people in your life hold you accountable, or both?
I think one, by sharing that on a public forum like this podcast, challenging people that see that to hold me accountable. But then also, I think I spent a lot of years telling myself that if I am aware of issues, that's enough. But true accountability comes from actually going to try to solve them and fix
Okay,
them.
nice. That's deep.
You
That's
know?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold me accountable.
Hold Keenan accountable. It's a pretty good rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good
It's
new
only
thing
taken
to
this
bring
long.
in. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mine, this podcast. Yours, making yourself better and taking accountability for everything in your life.
Well, listen, those two can go hand in hand.
They really can. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna hold you accountable to doing this podcast every week because we started it and we have all the
Yeah.
domains and stuff now. So that's it.
Can't leave.
That's our season preview for all 4 areas of the Stretch 4 podcast: hoops, hip hop, culture, life. It's who we want to win in the next year and who we think we're going to win in the next year. Give us your picks across the board.
Absolutely.
Share them with us. I'm going to put our draft boards up on Instagram. That's another thing I'm going to share this week.
I love that.
So Keenan, send me yours in a document so I don't have to go back and listen to this whole thing again and write them all down. Follow us on Instagram at Stretch4Pod. Share us, give us a nice rating and review on your podcast platforms. Subscribe to us, and we'll be back next week with another fantastic episode of the Stretch 4 podcast.
Let's go.